Okay, season two, act two. And yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna be. I don't know how emotional it's gonna be because let me tell you, those scenes were deep, dark. And also, I don't know about mild spoilers. If anything, I feel like when you're trying to review specifically like act two of, Arcane, like you gotta talk about the spoilers. You gotta talk about literally the big thing that is happening. But pretty much if I were to give a small review of just like this whole act two from act one, I'm not the best. But it is so good. The visuals and just the character development, the relationships. You see a theme with the relationships and it just builds so well. And it's so unique. And pretty much I really do see how this particular season could be the last. Yeah, breaking news. Of course, this is the part where I feel heartbroken about it, but they're not gonna make a season three. I'm just like, well, well, damn it. You know what I mean? It's like I wanted another season. I really do want to see this continue, but I get it. I get it. It's too much overwhelming. And yes, I did see some other reviews to mirror my review a bit better to help myself translate to you guys a bit better the way they do it. I don't know. I'm not a movie reviewer, but it's only a few shows like these that I'm so passionate about that I'm so, you know, I'm just looking forward to see more of. And, I don't know if we're going to see anything, something like this for a while. At least that's what it feels like. I don't know. But yeah, Act Two, and let's get it started because oh my gosh. Also, what the heck happened with Echo? We're just not gonna acknowledge Echo. Like where you at? Where you at? Like where you at with the Hex Tech? Is he coming back at some point? Because if this is the last season, you know damn well you have to actually, you know, just pretty much let us know, like, bring everyone together, not like a freaking, like Endgame Avengers type deal, when everyone showed up for Thanos, like just a way for everybody to come together, or maybe cut scene by scene of just like, well, how's everyone doing till the end. Then again, they probably already made the episodes. I don't know who I'm talking to at this point. But yeah, let's do it. And let's get started. Pretty much, I did make like a note before going into what I wrote down. I feel like in episode four, I didn't write down a lot, but it was enough for me to actually give you some pointers of just like what I think about episode four to six overall. But for episode four, man, I did not put a lot of notes. I would figure that I would rely on memory, but I did not put a lot. I mean, I have notes, but I didn't really put a lot for episode four because I think midway I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I was supposed to take notes. And I really want to enjoy these episodes the way they should be, but I only watched them one time and I pretty much don't have the time to actually really dive in much as I would. But yeah, episode four. It started off with this scene where I'm like, okay, well, Caitlyn uh, basically sleeping with someone else. And that someone else is probably somebody we're not going to see later on. There's a part of me where I'm like, okay, well, where you at though? And also, how heartbreaking is that? You just broke up with Vi, like that's just like it. Like we just like okay. I mean, damn. But also, like, God, why would you do that? And I say that knowing that for episode six, and I'm just gonna get into the spoilers real quick. That's yeah, pretty much like okay, that episode six where they you know basically meet again, it just doesn't add up much to what I don't know, at least to me. And this is my personal opinions, thoughts, reviews, or whatever you may call it in this particular act. But seeing someone else, and also we get a glimpse of Jinx missing Silco, even though that, this like Jinx herself like is, of course we knew that already, but you can tell that she's going through it. That I feel like this is sort of like an example of like many others need. parenting. Many others need a mother or a father, especially for Jinx that needed a father figure. That's why, I think it made sense later on that what she felt was real when seeing Vander again, especially in episode 4. And yeah, we see Vander as Warwick, the Beast. And I'm like, okay, that's that it was Vander? And yeah, it's the Beast. And pretty much um it seems like the she's I would predict that he's coming back to his senses later on, and that's what I'm hoping. Also, just returning back to, you know, the regular Vander, and pretty much it's hard to tell most of the time because I guess that the beast has this sort of anger within that he couldn't control, like the beast within, and you kind of see that, even though in deep inside of him he's still the father. And also the little kid Isha, as I learned that's her name, Isha, the mute, is pretty like in some cases is like Jinx back then, like the little sister, the little sister, and you see Jinx being pretty much the bigger sister of her. And that's one thing I noticed is that for the rest of this theme throughout the episodes in Act 2, you definitely see the relationship between these, Aisha and Jinx. Sure enough, V shows up eventually, but there's something that is so precious about Isha and also Jinx, and just it, you know, I have feelings because we're about to get it later on. But first, let me finish episode 4 itself. But Jinx really does care, and you see that more than anything else that she cares about Isha. Now, would I say for the same for Savika? I mean, I don't know. They were working together, that's for sure. Like, probably cares about Savika, like, in that side. And there is this sense, like, of divide throughout all of them, even though they try to all come together, as Savika tried to announce, we're all the one. And she said something that we are all, like, Xenonites or something like that. But we are all together and pretty much we shouldn't be divided, but there is a divide, a lot of it throughout the season. You see different armies, you see different people that try to protect themselves and protect their own people, and it makes sense. And definitely something to follow up of just like the rest of it. And yeah, it seems that for Jinx that she is seen as a leader, seen as someone, and I guess this is a sense of just like a theme of people that try to follow the leaders, follow whoever is in charge. And you see that with Bessa, you see that with Vic, you see that with Jinx as she's looked up to, or in a sense, being thanks. Like one thing about Jinx's followers that I notice is, excuse me, I'm so sick, is that they when they actually patted her or something when Jinx came in like surprise, it was not only like a thank you, but it was silent. They didn't need to say anything. They were literally there and they were like, just patting her. They didn't have to say a word. And it's almost like they knew what Jinx was going through, like what the pain she has to endure, especially what happened with Silco. They all felt it. And it was just this heartwarming moment. I will never forget that scene. That was one of my favorites, is that they knew. Like these people were not only followers of Jinx, they were basically like, I, I know what you're going through. Man, I know what you're going through. And I felt that with, my followers as well. They don't say it, but they knew. They knew that Fitz is going through a lot. You know what I mean? I felt that. But yeah, pretty much poor what is it? One of the followers, Jinx's followers got clobbered by this big guy that I really can't stand. But I understand that Bessa really looks up to this person, this big guy. I'll just say big guy because oh my goodness, like I just don't really like, looking at him. But yeah, also the blood pretty much tapping down this guy that we were introduced to, Revik. I call him Revik. I know that his name is what's his name? Uh Singe. Even though like they said something like Revik. So I'm kind of confused at both points because I guess my League of Legends knowledge is just not at point right now. But yeah, Singe or Revik pretty much is I guess the one that caused Vander to be a monster or something, as Vander wanted uh Singe's head or some at some point or something, or maybe because it's the blood, the hunger of the blood. Whoever bleeds, like that's what Vander or Warwick wants more. You see that hunger, but even though even it's a little kid like Isha. But of course, I'm getting ahead to myself. Let's just, move on to, yeah, episode 5. Also, like another thing with the, I guess, in many ways, I don't know if I mentioned this last time or it was here, but I guess that Vic is seen as a messiah or something. Is this a reference to the Bible? What are you trying to fool? Who are you trying to fool? I don't freaking know. But of course, we seen later that, yeah, they seen in the X Tech realm later on. So as I talk about my notes, episode 5. So I'm gonna really announce my notes here. It's unorganized, but I'm gonna talk about it to give you a good sense of where I'm at. What happened to V is Jinx visited. This was a scene where, and I like how they set music video scenes. The song Paint the World Blue or something, I think it's called, by this artist that I'm not familiar with. Really good, especially really showcasing of like this Jinx click that is being showcased in just a cool music video. Really gives that Jinx persona. There's a sense of rock like culture inside of Arcane that I notice, and I pretty much really like the theme of it and pretty much what it gives off, especially this next one with V, with this song mix, or just like how she's just kicking butt and she's miserable, maybe because she lost Kate, and pretty much V herself is just looked at as like more toxic. At least that's what she looks like. Best, as I can say it, is what Kate, as I quote, or maybe a poor quotation of it, is like, V, you look like you've been dipped in oil, which is definitely what V looks like. V definitely looks like she was dipped in oil. But V is also going through some stuff, getting drunk, and I forget his friend. What is it, Laura? Is that his name? Is that where did he went off? Like V didn't want him back or didn't care about him, so he just left off or something. Also, what happened to that whole group, that 5 team? Caitlyn, V, Laura, and also like the others. This girl that Caitlyn was sleeping with. I think her name is Nolan, and also the fish guy. Like whatever happened to them? You know what I mean? This is like that's not exist anymore. Whatever. I guess ever since that Caitlyn became, commander or whatever, like she just like that. I guess that's pride. I guess your whole group doesn't matter anymore. But it's cool. But yeah, what happened to V, and pretty much Jinx had the guts to visit her in her most crucial moment, and pretty much, yeah, like that's kind of dangerous moment of just like visiting V, but I get it. It's family. There's a sense of family that Jinx wanted. And you see that you just the what she was willing to go through. See Vander again, have Isha close to her side, and also visiting V. Dangerous, but especially how V almost choked Jinx out. And then there's the explanation of the beast, of where it came from, as Singe talks about. Also, what happened to Mel, which we got a glimpse of, and pretty much seen like in this weird dream that I guess this interesting character Amara, or not Amara, I think that's her name, Amara. It's either Amara or LeBlanc that is basically putting Mel inside of a sense of torturous dream, something of a, and I can almost relate because I dealt with sleep paralysis dreams, and I'm kind of in that same phase that she's going through, except that she's going through something extreme, which I hope I don't go through. But yeah, she just seems like in a place of just like vicious, like cycle that is just making up dreams to the point where they even made up one of his brothers, which is kind of heartbreaking. Like Amara is just sick. And also moving on, what is it, the Revolution stand, but what is Xenonites? I guess that's explain. There's an explanation of what the Xenonites are. Kino revealed, aka Mel's brother, was this episode's theme of siblings. That's what I pretty much talked about earlier. Jinx versus V. So I guess we sort of got a battle, but not really. It's just kind of like a little, fight of just like two siblings that couldn't get along because V wouldn't understand, especially having to follow Jinx as Jinx is leading V in. And I kind of there's a part of me where I wish that Jinx apologized or whoever can apologize. Maybe they did, but man, you don't really see the love at all. Um, Moving on, pretty much they're trying to find Vander, leading up, and you see the little kid Isha just bleeding, and that's when they like I if there's if there's any point of like that I think who is the toughest kid, the toughest little kid, it has to be Isha taking a hit. What, like, especially from, man, that would be different if, like, freaking V wore her gloves, but she took it off just to prove Jinx wrong. Moving on, pretty much we got a reveal of, like, who Singe is and who he is as a person, especially the daughter. That's deep. Uh, and also, Mel falling into Mara's dream, which I talked about earlier. Vander's note to Silco talking about, there was this note that Jinx was reading, which is a Vander's note to Silco, I believe. And also we get a glimpse of young Vander and his wife and young Silco. And yeah, just memories. And that's what we have to go by, is that even though we're probably not going to have Vander back, we only can rely on just like future episodes or future scenes of just like his memories of just what it was back then, the simpler times, and I felt that. Um, Singe revealed, I think, okay. Also, all Jinx and V's mom, which is something I never really seen her. I kind of forgot a lot about season one, but I never really seen, V's mom, and I don't know how like Jinx got into that or Powder got into that conversation as well. Also, the hug when all of them came together, especially in that scene of V, Jinx, and also Vander, not Warwick, Vander, coming together as a hug. And you got little Alicia coming in. This is something that Jinx really wanted it more than anything else. And of course, later on, Victor possessing Jace? Well, at least that's what it looks like. I mean, we see a scene that's solo, and pretty much there's this whole sense of following, uh, even though it doesn't seem right, uh, with everyone like following Victor as he's the Messiah, they say. Does he follow God? I don't know. I would like to think so. That would be cool. You follow, Jesus, the Bible, and pretty much that would be cool if like Victor really followed that. But I don't really think so. They don't really mention his name. I kind of wish they did. I understand that they don't. They want to cause problems with anyone, but that's just the world we live in. But anyways, Victor is a hex tech and is okay in its full power. Basically, got a good glimpse of the hex tech and what it is, and they talk about the touch, like the arcane, like showing what is the real arcane or thereof. So that was kind of interesting because I guess that's where the name is causing from. And I guess Victor is kind of like controlling that in a sense. But then you see that Jace really wants to kill Victor or revenge or whatever that Jace wants. At this point, Jace is just losing it. He's no different from Warwick, as a monster. Like, he wants blood. And I'm like, why? Get, get out of there, Jace. Wake up. You know what I mean? Like, whatever is going on with Jace, like, you kind of just hope that Mel is going to be okay and out of, like, freaking uh, LeBlanc's control, possession, just to actually be awake and see Jace again. Like, here's the thing. I don't know how everything is going to wrap up. I really don't. It's kind of a mystery, and yeah, I'm just waiting to see what happens. But for episode 6, into the Hex Tech, Victor and his girlfriend controlling the universe. Yeah, so I don't know who this girl that is close to Victor. I don't know if that's Victor's girlfriend, wife, or whatever. I don't know her name, and I kind of forgot. But you see them together, especially not physically out there, but close to Victor, even though that, like only Victor can see her. And Mbessa and Caitlyn training in a dojo, pretty interesting. We got V's family in a place of peace, as they say. V's family place in place of peace. I don't know why I wrote that there. I'm trying to remember. I just finished episode 6. Oh my goodness. And also I noticed some. Oh yeah, that's right. V. Okay, so we got V, Vander, Isha, Jinx, the main characters basically going into this weird camp area, which is supposedly the place of peace, which I believe one of Solo's like healers are trying to talk about. This other healer that healed Solo, and Solo's healed, and pretty much I think got killed by Jace. But yeah, just they found this camp place, a place of peace, where we left off from a couple of episodes ago when one of an old characters saw Victor as the Messiah, and they want him, Victor to heal them, and basically made this village area, which is gonna be something later on. Something twisted just happened, and I'm just like, well, I, I'm numb, but yeah, they found this place hoping that it would heal Vander. It would bring Vander back. That's why they came there, at least for V. And yeah, they pretty much came there with no weapons attached. You got freaking. I feel like, as V is growing, you see Jinx, oh, good old Jinx, pointing the gun at the person that, like, asked them to not bring weapons. And V's like, takes off the gloves. And yeah. And pretty much you see like Jinx like follow through as well. Interesting. But of course you see like Vander just still reacting, especially in that scene where they sizzle like some iron and he's like going crazy. But still follow through, still have peace, and you see everyone is still trying to move on. And also, speaking of moving on, yeah, Vander is okay. Vander's still freaking out. Oh yeah, it's something about all systems have limits. As Vic tried to heal him, but there's something that he said that is like interesting. Like all systems have limits. What does that mean? It's like there is a certain limit of Vander. It's almost like he's gone and there's no way of healing them because he's so far. And I'm like, crap. Especially when, spoilers, Vic was gone, basically died. And it's like, well, shoot, how are we actually got to get Vander back? You know what I mean? And that scene itself in the ending is like, well, golly, it's how can this be ever be worse? It's crazy. But of course, I'm ahead of myself. Takes to us to a bunch of flashbacks, and it's sad because thinking about the flashbacks, thinking about Vander or where he's at right now, it's crazy. And also one of Abessa's men showed later, and Singe, do you believe? Like, pretty much, Vic says to Ravik or Singe, like, do you believe in fate? There's a part of me where I'm like, man, it's deep because is he following God or not? Like, the God gave him these powers. Like, what's up with that? The God created Hestech. Why am I bringing like real life to this? I don't freaking know. But it's like he said that. He said, "Do you believe in fate?" You know what I mean? But maybe a different type of fate, I guess. V and Kate meets again. This is the part where they kind of fight, but not really. But they came up with a plan that fooled Mbessa because, well, Kate seen V again. I knew they were gonna reunite, but I never thought that they would work together to make things right. And it's like, yeah, I guess Kate and V are back together. So that's cool. Jace found the camp, and this is where I was like, oh gosh, okay, this is not good. And also there to find Vic, as Jace almost killed like a little kid just to find him, and the little kid was nice enough. The thing about these kids nowadays, and I guess the show really reflects that, is like how mature do you have to be? What is this kid is like what? Not even 13 or something. And it's like showing like, yeah, our master's here. Everything's gonna be okay. It's like, and you see that through Isha, and Isha looks like she's below 10. It's like, what? So moving on, uh, as Jinx had feelings of being happy and finding Isha. The scene of Jinx and talking to Isha and how that moment really sparks. But it also makes me worry, and for a good reason, especially Isha bringing back Jinx's gun. All of them have everything planned out so well, especially against Abessa, especially the acting that Kate and V did together. It's like so deep. And yeah, the Kate and V was a play this whole time, and freaking Kate did a gun swap behind Abessa's back. It was planned, and Jason the mix losing control. Jinx, basically, there's this battle about this big guy that and Jinx tries to stop the big guy coming in, and also like this is when a moment when Jinx was trying to take this guy down. The guy almost like took out Jinx, but then this is like a don't mess with my kids moment. Papa Bear, freaking Vander Warwick, yeah, finish this guy off. I mean, he literally finished him off in a very big way later on when he turns to a full-on beast. But I like that scene. Jace later on seen Vic, and yeah, you already know the scene. I already spoiled it. Basically, killed him. I like this cough killing me. Freaking killed him. The whole village, and basically this is the scary part. Like, I guess Vic was controlling the villagers, even though the people, the poor people, the villagers were kind of already lost. They're already gonna be dead, or at least in their deathbed. But it was all thanks to Vic that they were still have time to be alive. But yeah, that didn't last, and they perish. They die. Like everything just freaking went loose. Even though that very beautiful moment of all them together, of like Vander's and his like daughters, and include another one. You got 3 daughters, and it's like I thought everything was gonna be okay, but why would I be like? Of course I would be easily bluff as everything just hell break loose, basically. Yep, all hell break loose. That moment when Abessa showed up with his army, I knew something was going to go wrong. And these poor innocent people that were already dying, that were controlled by Vic, yeah, they're gone. Because if Vic's gone, then the rest of them are gone. Kind of like a Pikmin moment. Actually, I don't know. But it's sad. This like centipede reaction, this chain reaction, all of them just perishing. It's like dark to see, like with the yelling. It's like, oh my gosh, damn. But of course it doesn't rest there. There's a battle. You have the rest of the daughters fighting for their life, including Isha. And this is the part where I was like why Riot Games, why would you freaking do this, man? Why would you do this? This freaking hurts. The sacrifice. The little kid's sacrifice. You can't do that. You can't have these kids this freaking young sacrificing. And also you see like Vander, not Warwick, Vander. But it was too late. All them, like it looked like they were fighting together, but instead they died together. And I guess that Isha was trying to, take out Warwick, but I don't even know at this point. It's like, I'm just so curious, like, what the heck is gonna happen? And what was that freaking song? Little criticism. What the heck is that song? You could have put an English song, you could have put something. I don't know what the frick is that language is. There's a part of me where I thought it was French, but then it moved on to other words where I'm like, okay, Mandarin, Korean. I'm confused, but yeah, I don't know. Like in this very, the whole moment I was like, what the heck is this song, man? This is real. This is not funny. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is just a criticism. I'm like, what the heck? But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait for the next act. How they gonna freaking pull that together? I have no predictions. I don't even know. But yeah, that's crazy. Also, little last notes here. What is it? Oh yeah, there was like this sense of weird acting with Vic's disciples that I kind of wrote down. I was like, huh. Also, I said like what happened to Echo, and also, Singe, aka Revik's like daughter was Oriana, I guess her name is, that I saw from some video. Yeah, Vander's Warwick. Oh yeah, correction, that flashback with Vander. Oh yeah, that's right. I said it was Silco because I think last time that I did the review, which was Act One, I said that it was. I said it was like Vic, but no, it's freaking Silco, of course. And yeah, I also said no season tree, which I'm still can't get my mind around. Like what? And yeah, Amara is LeBlanc, and I call her Amara, but she's LeBlanc, even though that her name is Amara. But then again, they could be two different people or something. So it's like Amara works for LeBlanc. I don't freaking know. Anyways, thank you guys watching for my Act 2 and me freaking out in silent because I'm trying my best to do these reviews. My parents are sleeping. I can't act too crazy because they're gonna kick me out. But anyways, I'll see you when I see you. One love in a plea. One love in a peace. What is gonna happen with Act 3? I bet it's gonna be a wrap up. And I know it's gonna be something that I probably am worried about. But also there's gonna be a good reason. The thing is that I love these characters. I really do want to see them in peace, man. Just want to know what that looks like, you know? Well, like, can you imagine if Riot Games made that? Just like, imagine Arcane, but just everybody not at war, not fighting, you know? It's just like, kind of like real life sometimes. Anyways, I'll see you when I see you. One love and peace, and God bless.